what do you two think? I'll be one. The first thing I'm going to say is KG did an interview right after the Hall of Fame announcement was made, and he did talk about how joining up with Paul Pierce and Ray Allen meant a lot. He did mention Ray. So I think that's a little bit of hope there. Minutes after or hours after he found out he was officially inducted, Ray Allen's name came out of his mouth. Maybe that's worth something.
It's been more. It's been coming out more. He said in another comment recently about Ray, and he put out a picture of him, Ray, and Paul on, I think, Instagram. So maybe it's loosening up. Max, you're big on the Ray topic.
Yeah, I am. I'm one of those few people in the Garden who probably thinks that Ray Allen's jersey should be retired because it wasn't the big two, it was the big three. And to me, Doc Rivers says it's his fault when it comes to Ray not showing up at Paul's thing. I can't buy that. Ray is a grown-ass man. And, at the end of the day, if he's going to come, he's going to come. I'm one of his biggest fans. Matter of fact, when I was there at Paul Pierce's, they had a dinner for him that before his jersey was retired. And I was there and I was one of the speakers. I missed an opportunity because I wanted to tell him in front of everybody, I wanted to say, Paul Pierce is the captain of this team. It's time for you to tell Ray Allen to come home.
How would that have been received if he did that?
I don't know how it would have been received, but it was just one of those things to me, again, where if you're the captain of this team and people look at you in that way, as a person who was kicked out the door, I felt the same way. It's like you felt like you're a part of that team, but almost people alienate you. Like I hear so many times about the big three, the original big three. Well, gentlemen, I hate to tell anybody this, but there was a big four. And I was that other guy. So if you want to talk about, all those things, what did they say? Are there four musketeers or are there three musketeers? Which one is it? And, and you hear people say, well, there actually was four, but nobody talks about that other fourth one. And I think that's what, to me.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
3 years later? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's sometimes when I hear people talk about, oh my God, Larry and Robert and Kevin, that's the greatest front line ever. Well, I played with those guys for almost 6 years. So I'm not included in the conversation. And it's a little it's a little hurtful thinking about that. But
as Cedric Maxwell converts the foul shots and seals.
You also, my teammates who played with me also knew my place and where I stood with them. So it doesn't bother me as much because of that. But it still is one of those things where I say, oh my God, you hear people, the greatest big three, that's the greatest front line to ever play together. Well, I played with those guys for 5 or 6 years, and I was the finals MVP. Mm-hmm. And I helped them win the 1984 championship with my heroic 7th game. So if I got a whistle here, something to blow, damn, I feel like am I blowing my own horn here? Hold on a minute.
You deserve to, Max. I mean,
man, nothing wrong with that.
I'm sorry.
Watch out. Get the Seiko watch, man.
Yeah, that's why. I get the MVP watch out. That's what I'll do.
Legendary.
Let's see what they gave me. Don't go out on the limb, NBA. I'm doing
the money's different now, man. The money's different now.
You think LeBron got one of these?
A legendary watch, the infamous. But it is equatable to Ray, isn't it? I mean, I do see the similarity.
It's interesting because to hear Doc say this and tell that story about the whole Paul Pierce thing, I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know that he had agreed to do it. And then this is here, right? I mean, next up is what? Paul Pierce's induction, I'm assuming next summer. And then after that, when's the next time these three have that opportunity to reunite? I think that's what everyone wants to see. That's what Doc wants to see. I think everyone sort of just wants to see these three guys back together again, photographed and saying, look, everything is good. We put it's water under the bridge at this point. We won a championship in 2008. Nothing's going to take that away from us. This is a bond between the three of us forever. That's what Doc wants to see more than anything.
I mean, Nick, you talk about that. I think that you could go even further. Is like when I first came back to the Garden on Larry Bird's retirement.
My favorite all-time moment.
And people were like, And I remember Costas turned to me and said, Max,
how does it feel to be back in the Boston Garden?
How does it feel to be back in the Boston Garden?
How does it feel to be back at the Boston Garden?
And everybody around, and I was maybe as blown away as everybody in the entire building stood up, clapped, gave me an ovation.
7 minutes.
My teammates around me were clapping. It was that was really a special moment, but it showed me how I was respected by the fans and how I was respected by the players. And that to me was a tremendous honor. And I just hope Ray gets the same thing, because that's why I feel my story is tied
it is
so close to his. And that's why I think I am his biggest champion when it comes to having his jersey retired.
Were you nervous that night of Bird's jersey retirement? I mean, you got to get up there talking for the Boston.
Afraid to hear the Boo Birds.
The Boo Birds might come out. You don't know.
No, I didn't. I've said this story before. When they trade you away, almost any player who gets traded away, you're going to get probably an ovation coming back. It's the guys like Ray who decide to leave the team. And it's like this